Hi, Lost Creekers. I just wanted to take a second to let you know about my upcoming preaching plan. We're actually going to step away from Luke's Gospel for a few weeks and visit one of my favorite New Testament books, and that is Paul's second letter to Timothy. This little note is traditionally believed to be one of Paul's final letters. He is in prison. His death seems to be imminent. The letter is prompted because Paul's arrest and impending execution has created quite a turmoil among Christians everywhere. I mean, as you read, you get the sense of the anxiety that is encircling the Christian world. If this Jesus Christ, who is the risen and conquering Messiah, if he's conquered death, then how can the one who is arguably the most influential messenger of this faith be left abandoned in these dire circumstances? Is this what Christ does to his followers? I mean, throughout the note, Paul mentions people who have left him, who have turned away from him. He mentions people who have abandoned the faith altogether. Even Paul's loyal protege, Timothy, seems to be caught up in the turmoil. Paul's letter is intended to encourage and assure Timothy during these troubling times, and when just everything seems to be turned upside down. So maybe you're getting an idea of why it might be a good idea for us to spend some time with this little letter. Well, so for the next 4 weeks, we're going to be spending some time in a series that I've called Not Ashamed. You know, we understand the shame Paul repeatedly references in this letter. I've been a pastor for almost half a century now, and I've lost count of the number of people who have felt that they needed to remove themselves from the church community because of a personal moral failure, or maybe a financial or business downturn, or a mental health issue, or a loved one commits a crime, a teen pregnancy, a divorce, and a whole host of other struggles that I've encountered through the years that somehow we infuse with such a hefty dose of shame, whether it's justified or not. And some of those folks who have come to me in those times, I've been able to convince to remain, to stay plugged in. But honestly, the vast majority really, that's not been the case. That is the insurmountable power of shame. Paul urges Timothy, don't be ashamed of the work of God among human beings on this planet. And he says, certainly don't be ashamed of me and my circumstance, God's messenger. And then you can almost hear Paul shout, because I'm certainly not ashamed, because I know whom I have believed, and am convinced that he is able to guard what I have entrusted him to that day. So this coming Sunday, we rekindle the gift. What exactly is this gift, and how do we go about rekindling it? And next Sunday, present yourself to God. When you read that section of the second chapter, you're going to notice the recurrence of the word if. If this is, then what? And the third week, that's a good one. It's itchy ears. We finally reach a point where we can start to listen, hear, and see through all the turmoil and refocus. And then finally, we rise to the high point of this letter, poured out. So I hope you'll join us on Sunday mornings in person at 10:15 here in the sanctuary, or online during that time or any time it's convenient for you to watch, for Not Ashamed.